Yo, what's up, everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a quick preview of what happened during today's matches, that of course being Saturday's matches, as well as what you can expect going into tomorrow's matches or today's matches your time, that being Sunday's matches. So looking ahead to, of course, Saturday's matches, we kick things off with FaZe taking on the London Royal Ravens. You guys know going into this series, I thought it would be a 3-1 in favor of FaZe, but it ended up going down to the wire as it was a 3-2. And FaZe walked away with the win here, but I mean, they had to fight for it, right? The Ravens put up a very good fight. They played very well in this matchup today. They looked good in the hard points. They of course, stole the control. And I don't know, man. On Royal Ravens, they're showing considerable improvements lately, and I like what I've seen from them in the last two matches. Of course, they beat New York. They almost beat FaZe. They're a team to watch out for, of course, during this stage, the rest of it, and going into the major as well. So I like the performance from them, and of course, FaZe, they closed out as they should. They handled business game 5. They finally won an Express. I think they won maybe one before this, but Express has definitely been their Achilles heel since it was introduced in Stage 2. They finally won it today in a game 5. Shades of the Gorillas series, but positive this time. So um, great takeaways for FaZe. Of course, they rebounded. They've been having a bit of a rough go lately. They took it in a game 5 against the Thieves as well recently. Thieves are a really good team also, but we expect FaZe to close it out 3-1 typically. We don't expect them to lose control certainly, so that was a little bit surprising, but they walked away with the win and they can go back and game plan and make sure that they don't make the same mistakes again. In our next matchup, of course, we had the Dallas Empire taking on the Los Angeles Guerrillas, and both teams looked good in this series. Of course, the Los Angeles Guerrillas they were bullying Dallas on certain maps. Of course, in the Search and Destroy, Guerrillas won as I thought they would. They looked great, and then the Control they also looked pretty good. So the Guerrillas, I mean, they had some good takeaways from this series. They definitely played very well in this series. Dallas, they're trying their hardest, with Fellow, but they're still figuring things out. And the Guerrillas were able to capitalize on it, take it to a game 5. And Dallas, I mean, they stomped them game 5, but the Guerrillas put up a good fight. So good takeaways on both sides. They really needed this on the side of the Guerrillas. They needed some confirmation that this roster change really made sense after they got their first 3-0 and then they got swept by the Ultra, of course. So this kind of reaffirms that maybe this was a good choice and they might have made a step in the right direction, but we'll see as the rest of the stage goes on. In our last matchup of the day, we had the Subliners taking on the Surge. And the Subliners, they just dismantled the Surge, to be quite honest with you. Um, yeah, like the S&D, it looked really easy for the Subliners. I think it was 6-2. They won like 6 straight, maybe. They just flipped a switch and started cooking. Uh, it went to round 11, but excuse me, they won 5 straight, and then Surge ripped off like 3 straight to bring it to around 11, and Subliners closed it out. So that was a good showing for them. The Control, I mean, it went down to a 3-2, but in the end, the Subliners they kind of squashed them to end it. So I mean, for Seattle, I think honestly they just need to make a roster change at this point. You guys know I've been hinting at that for a while, but I think it's over, right? Like 0-3 to start the stage off, going into Stage 3, the major for Stage 3, not even having a real chance to make the winners bracket this time around. When they had a good chance last time, I don't know. I just think they need a roster change badly. I don't know who they bring in. Maybe Vivid, maybe John. There are plenty of great options out there that they could pick up. So they really need to go back to the drawing board and figure out who they're going to pick up. But they need to pick somebody up. And skipping ahead to tomorrow, of course, speaking of roster changes, we have the new look Mutineers with, of course, Havoc on the roster now, take on the new look Paris Legion with Donnie Temp on the roster. Personally, I see this going in favor of the Mutineers. I think it's a 3-1. I don't like what I've seen from the Paris Legion this stage. It doesn't really seem like they fixed many of their glaring issues in terms of just their chemistry, their teamwork, of course, their search and destroy, and just I don't know. I guess their overall clutch factor, you could say. They don't really have the capability to close out the series like they should, and that's why they can't win series. They can get to the end a lot of times and they'll have a lead, but they'll blow it. So it's a lot of small things that make a big difference. And I think some really thoughtful coaching could help them a lot. No disrespect to the coaching staff, but I see a lot of very careless mistakes being made very consistently. So I don't think it's a personnel issue. I just think it's a strategy issue. That's why I think the Mutineers win 3-1. I think they take the opening hard point. I think that they take the search as well. I think the Legion probably bounce back, take the control. Florida takes it map 4. Or Florida, they might 3-0 them. Honestly, they've been a good control team in the last few weeks. They've been playing very well in the mode. They've cleaned up on it. Adding Havoc to the roster really seemed to help them a lot. Even though he went pretty negative, they looked great in their last showing. Of course, they got a 3-1 over, who was it that they last played? And it'll come back to me. But they looked great in their last showing, and I think they'll continue that momentum going forward. So I think 3-1 in their favor, possibly a 3-0. Their searches looked a lot better, and their hardpoint, I mean, their hardpoint's always been pretty good. They just really tightened it up a lot. The Havoc trade, if you will, slacked for Havoc. It really helped to open up the map for Awakening and Skies a lot more. Same for Neptune, because they tend to play together, but it's really opened it up for Neptune, and he's been having. So I think Mutineers walk away with it, like I said. And I think it's a 3-0. I really do. Legion, they've just been in bad form lately, and they can't really seem to get anything going. So I said 3-1 initially, but 3-0, I think, is what happens there. Toronto Ultra taking on the Minnesota Rokkr in our next match. Uh, I think it's a 3-1 in favor of the Ultra. I don't think the S&D on the side of the Rokkr is good enough to necessarily topple the Ultras yet. Ultra's been really, really good in search lately, and their hardpoint, I mean, their hardpoint rivals everyone else's in the top 3. So I would say Ultra take map 1 and map 2 as well. And control Minnesota, they haven't really been too strong on it. So this could be another 3-0. Ultra might go 12-0 on the week, depending on the map vetoes. If they get raid control, then it's definitely a 3-0 in my opinion. And their S&D pool is pretty strong. So I don't know what map Minnesota would necessarily choose to counter that, but it's not looking too great for them. And hardpoint, I mean, they have a way deeper hardpoint pool than Minnesota. So I think it could be a 3-0, but 3-1 is what I'll say. And I'll say Minnesota takes map 2 if they take a map. In our last matchup of the day, of course, that being our marquee match, we have Optic Chicago taking on the Los Angeles Thieves. I think Optic walks away with this one with a pretty comfortable 3-1. I think they take the opening hard point. I think they also take the search. This might shock some of you guys. And I think depending on the map set, if it's checkmate, 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 I think Optic 3-0. If it's a different map set, like maybe checkmate, express, checkmate, I think it would be a 3-1 in favor of Optic. And they win map 4, be it Apocalypse or something else, Moscow maybe. I don't think they play them on Moscow hardpoint. That's their best map. Um, but yeah, so I think that tomorrow's match against Thieves and Optic will be interesting. It really comes down to the vetoes. If the vetoes are favorable for Thieves, I still think it's 3-1 for Optic. I think all of Thieves' best maps are all of Optic's best maps. So I think it's going to be hard for Thieves. They would have to throw a curveball in there, maybe get a Gary somewhere in the series, and they have to hope for the best there. So it really comes down to the vetoes. But as it stands, I think Chicago 3-1 is a safe choice to make. Excuse me. So yeah, guys, I'll just about wrap it up for me. Sorry if this video is a little bit rushed or if I'm a little bit all over the place. Just getting it out early tonight because I have a busy day tomorrow. I don't think I'll be able to upload it. I normally do in the mornings. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. Hope you enjoy all of the COD today as you're watching this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Once again, this has been Chris from Fake Sports News, and I'm signing off. Peace.